For me, it probably started way back in grade school when my one of my instructors, one of my teachers, set me aside and helped me with math. Math is very needed in the industry for engineering type of activities. And for me, I struggled at that time. This was in seventh grade, seventh, eighth grade. And he really helped me kind of put me on the right path and showed me the ropes. And I remember Mr. Castleman, that was his name. And then after that, I learned long division, multiplication, and then I was into music. I actually took up an instrument, trumpet, started playing in the band. And there's a relationship between musical notes and engineering. It's a mathematical relationships, and so that also I think had a big influence on me and what kind of drove me to engineering. And I kept with music for many years, and in fact I still play.
Well, that's amazing. Something I didn't know about you, Mike. We'll have to have you play at the office one day. And so, walk me through your education background at Portland State. Why did you gravitate to civil engineering? Right. I mean, there's all these different engineering fields you could have gone down, where math is certainly a huge component of them. What really drove you into civil engineering in particular?
Well, I was also interested in electrical engineering, construction engineering, which is a branch of civil engineering. But I gravitated towards civil structural. And I think what did it for me was I was doing problems, and I was taking a statics or dynamics class, I believe, and was doing homework problems. And for the homework problem assignment, instead of just writing it up on a piece of paper and turning it in nice and neat like you're supposed to do in engineering class, I created I wrote a program. I wrote a basic program that at that time, PCs had just kind of come out in the industry. And so I wrote the program to create the shear and moment diagrams and plot the shear and moment diagrams that were part of the problem. And so my instructor at the time caught on to that and said, "Hey, we got to get this guy." And so I started working for him in the structures lab of Portland State University.
Oh, fantastic. And so that was kind of the impetus of now you're a structures guy and have been there for decades now. Once you got out of school and you got your master's, then where did you go to work?
So as a student, I actually worked at Bonneville Power as a student doing work for them, doing drafting. And that was the time where you'd have a room full of drafting tables, and you'd see engineers, old school type engineers doing drawings. And so I started with them right out of school. I had several other offers, which I was happy for, but chose to stay in the Pacific Northwest. And this was after my master's degree, and started working on engineering and working on the electrical power structures that we see every day, lattice structures and tubular steel poles and so forth. And I really gravitated toward lattice because there was so much existing lattice in the system. And so much of my early career was just modeling those lattice structures. Several hundred structures were modeled, and learned a lot by doing that. And of course, learned by just being around the other engineers and learning from them.